Digital Dragons, Poland's annual game conference, like so many other events in 2020, had to do things a bit different this year. While the event is currently rescheduled for September, they held a 3-day-long indie celebration of 50 titles with over 25 free playable demos. Of these games, the currently in development cinematic platformer Unto the End released a demo for the duration of the indie celebration. I decided to download the demo, give it a run through, and do this Unto the End demo review. Hi, I'm Nanocyde, and today I'm taking a playthrough and giving my review of the Unto the End demo, developed by the husband and wife team, Stephen Danton and Sarah Kitamura, I hope I got those right, under the studio name 2 Ton Studios and published by Big Sugar. Unto the End is set to make an appearance on PC and consoles later this year. This also includes being a Day 1 Game Pass title on Xbox One. Immediately upon jumping into the demo, there was a tutorial on the combat mechanics. Right away it became clear to me that the read-react combat system was something very unique and was going to offer some interesting gameplay combat. The system was specifically designed and built for the 2D world, and while the controls are simple, it will take effort on part of the player to learn to read an enemy's intentions and react accordingly. From blocking to attacking with either your ranged or melee weapon, in this case the starting sword, players will need to use their wits and smart reactions to be successful. Combat I found to be quite challenging at times, as the enemies were often intelligent and would respond to any preemptive actions. The side view in which the game is presented really helps with evaluating the battlefield and being able to recognize potential dangers while also having a clear view of enemy animations and their intended actions. Sometimes the animations were subtle enough that I would misread the enemy's intention and get my butt kicked. Other times everything would flow so smoothly it felt like I was the swordsman version of John Wick. Progressing further into the demo, the enemies became increasingly difficult and it took a few tries and some thought on how to take them down. In this example here, as I moved forward, a battle horn cried out and 2 beefy baddies showed up. One was pure melee while the other had 3 throwing spears and a melee weapon. First off, I learned right away you cannot duck a spear. Secondly, I learned that you could tumble to avoid the spear. And third, sometimes your enemies may take care of a threat for you, which was super awesome to see for the first time. It honestly caught me off guard and really shocked me as I laughed at the dead enemy. However, this didn't last long as I was promptly destroyed by this other beefy dude. So what to do? At this point I realized maybe I can throw the spears back at them. Sure enough, I was right, and there was 2 dead baddies for me to loot. Speaking about loot, the game has a very simple and limited inventory and crafting system. Sometimes various items such as sticks or bones can be found on the ground or on corpses. Herbs and leather can be looted off the bodies too. At the rest campfires, I was able to make healing tonics, basic armor upgrades, or a new throwing dagger. In dark areas, torches can be used and crafted as needed. All of this was accessible through the inventory menu. The game's story itself follows a humble father and what he must endure to get back to his family. From the demo's launch, he is seen with his family at a campfire in a very peaceful and serene setting. As the journey unfolded, it became abundantly clear to me how many dangers there were and how alone this father really was on his journey. While I would have loved to have had some story or some lore to tell me why I'm hacking and slashing these furry glowing-eyed creatures in the cave, or the super muscle brutes who clearly hated the glowing-eyed furry dudes, but I can understand why there is a complete lack of knowledge here, as the father is clearly in unfamiliar lands with no knowledge of the area's inhabitants. This only further emphasizes the read-react system and the fact that he is truly alone while on his journey. Although the various scenes in the demo feature handcrafted environments that are more often than not very unforgiving. Various environmental challenges will need to be solved, such as tumbling roll through a hole or being able to act with elements of the environment skewing your view. 2 standout examples of this in the demo comes in the form of the darkness in the cavern and then a conveniently placed tree that blocks part of the battlefield's view at one point. However, I do need to note that in the demo I did encounter what I believe to be a bug in the respawn process, which was not surprising as there was a warning stating that this is a beta and there may be some bugs when I first started the demo. What exactly happened was that I had begun to respawn partially wounded and with a throwing spear. This did allow me to cheese one encounter after a few tries, and by cheese it I mean just eliminated the step of looting the spear. Again, on another occasion, I had had my sword knocked out of my hand before I died, which then I started respawning without it. I couldn't find it in the darkness and not even sure if it was still there, so I had to restart the demo's progress. Luckily, this was only the second encounter in the game, so I was able to get back to that spot in very little time. My biggest critique of the game was there was a few times when some of the controls felt a bit sluggish. I would hit a key to make a move, but the reaction on the screen just didn't seem to match up with what I was doing on the keyboard. Now I must remind everyone that I am playing on the keyboard, and the game did say it plays best with an Xbox controller. I even had full intention of going to my living room and grabbing a controller to test the response time with it. However, I became sidetracked at the time of playing the demo because there was a fairly large earthquake in neighboring Nevada that gave a rather good shaking in the area where I live in Northern California. So in other words, oops, I forgot, as I was checking the local news to see what actually had happened in the real world. The game's art style has a 2D minimalism appearance. However, there is enough detail in all the right places to give Unto the End a beautiful look while still being immersive for the player. Each scene, from the darkest pit in the caverns to the brightest snow-covered forest in the middle of the day, tells a complete picture of what this world is really about and still leaves plenty of room for players' own interpretations. At one particular moment when exiting the cavern and finally seeing that gorgeous light of day, the environment paints a rather detailed picture. It is clearly an unbelievable cold day in the forest that is blanketed with snow. A massive battle has just unfolded with victims that you're already familiar with who were just brutally destroyed and are laying all around, or in one case, impaled upon a tree. This was obviously a one-sided beatdown by a superior enemy, and you're about to walk into their territory. Oh my. While platformers are not my first grab-and-go play game genre, when I first read about the read-react combat system, I knew I had to give this demo a try, and I can say I'm so glad that I did. At the initial loading of the demo, when presented with the family around the campfire scene, immediately I was drawn into the quality of the scene. From the crackling of the fire to the soft humming tune, I knew I was in for an awesome experience. Now I know this is a demo, and it is even marked as an early beta demo on top of that, but I strongly believe with what I've already seen, once Unto the End launches later this year, anyone who picks up this indie title will be in for one challenging, unique, and beautiful 2D cinematic platforming experience. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Unto the End demo. Did you like the unique read-react combat system? What did you like? What did you dislike? In addition, in the area below are relevant links provided to the game, its developer, and publisher. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button to be notified when other great content like this is posted. Don't forget to follow me at Nanocyde on Twitter to see my latest comments on all things gaming. And as always, I'm Nanocyde. Thanks for watching.